Yay, we're live. Hi, everybody. Today, who we have are two alumni from the Purpose program. So we've got Francis here and Duncan, who will be talking about their experiences of the Purpose program and how that has helped them to redefine their grind. If you're new to the channel, my name is Suki and I am a certified life and professional coach based in New Zealand, helping ambitious professionals to redefine their grind. And I used to be an agile coach in technological companies, helping teams and leaders to perform better. Welcome to my Saturday live sessions where I interview founders and change makers who have redefined their grind and living a purposeful life. So it is my great pleasure to have both Francis and Duncan here today. So I'll introduce a little bit about them. So Francis is a conversation experience designer. What that means is that she designs artificial intelligence robotic conversations for customers using her logic and intuition and understanding of customer experience. And Duncan is a user experience and service designer. What that means is that she designs beautiful and intuitive customer experiences for you, and her passion lies in cycling and personal finances. Welcome!
Hi, Suki.
Yay! Yay! Hello everyone! So I would really like the viewers to understand a little bit more about what is your experience with the Purpose program and how coaching has really helped you to take your career and life to the next level. So let me start with this question. How have you come to join the Purpose program and found me?
Want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. So for me, back in, I guess, November, I was going through this interesting patch in life and was just reaching out to people, to groups of friends and professionals on that. What's the next step? And what are some tips that I could do to elevate my career? I stumbled upon the Women in Tech group, and I was just asking a question there in the questions channel, like, what is your idea about coaching and how is it going to help you? Has it been very beneficial for you? And then through there, Suki reached out.
Yes, I was very forward. And
yeah, she was.
I'm a life coach.
And Suki was very lovely, actually. She wasn't.
She's not anymore, right?
Oh no!
Yeah, Suki was very, very lovely at that time, and she was just engaging the question, but also wasn't pushy about the program. It's just like, if you're interested, we can have coffee, and if you're keen, just reach out. And for me, I'm not really like the type of person who's gonna jump into someone who's also pushy about the product. Like every time there's someone who's insisting said coaching program, for example, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stay away from you because I just want it to be a more natural relationship. And for me, that's where it boils down to. A coaching program comes down to personal relationship. And I knew, just based on research, you're gonna share your life experiences, you're gonna share your history, and you're gonna be very vulnerable. So who would you want to expose another part of your life? Especially for me, I'm very secretive about most things. I want it to be with someone who I trust. And yeah, I found Suki. She was a very wonderful person, just even for a quick chat. And then later on, I joined one of her free workshops, and that was back in Ponsonby, and just was interested in who was this person, how does she facilitate the program. And I'm not kidding, like that first session, she just said it point blank to one person, I don't think you're prepared for this. And for me, like, okay, well, I need that blankness and bluntness from a person. If it's gonna be a coach, someone is gonna push you, then Suki was a perfect person for me.
Yes, I was very blunt, and you touch on really good points about like personal relationship is really important in a coaching relationship, and how you need to trust the coach enough to say honestly what is really happening, so that you can challenge yourself to the next step. Yeah, thanks, Francis. And Duncan, what made you join the program?
Yeah, I was like thinking about it, and I think it all started like around this time last year. I was preparing for my knee surgery, So from like really active person, I've become stuck at home, and after a few weeks, I kind of needed to go back into my routine and started to think about more about my career also. So I think it's all started with books that I read. It was like Better Than Before by Gretchen Rubin, and then I followed it up with Atomic Habits book that you recommended also.
Yeah.
So I started to do some steps to get back into my routine and build some small habits. But I still I feeling like kind of a crossroads with my career, because user experience design is it's getting more and more specialized into a little bit more interface design, or like researcher, or doing some more UX or doing some more service design and strategy. So I didn't know which direction to go. And my husband actually recommended the Suki program, because he was saying like, she's really awesome, and I read the program. I was pretty hesitant at the beginning because, as you mentioned, it's quite personal, and I didn't know how it looks like. Never had been coached before. My husband doesn't want to do it.
Your husband doesn't want to coach you. Is that what he said?
Well, that's exactly what he said. It's like it never ends well if you coach like your other half. So, but yeah, I was looking for some guidance, and I found you. So
yeah, it sounds like that you were coming up to an intersection, and you're looking for that guidance to guide you to the next stage of making that career choice or life choice as well. That is awesome. And for those of you who don't know about the Purpose program, it's quite a big commitment. It's 10 weeks of weekly group classes, and then 3 one-on-one sessions with me as well. So like, before you signed up to the program, were there any barriers, internal challenges that you had to overcome, or fears in order to join? It's a huge commitment, plus the money too.
Yeah, plus the money. I think the huge fear for me was, again, that vulnerable piece, because I've been very protective about, like, it's my life, and I've had an interesting background as well, and I wasn't quite prepared to share that large piece of me to another person, to a stranger most especially. But yeah, just going through starting a relationship and getting to know the person, Suki, like, that helped me break down that barrier. And then on top of that, joining the workshop, I knew that there would be other people in the program as well. So like, okay, am I gonna start sharing my life to a stranger who I have never met ever before? So again, like that first couple of sessions, it is breaking those barriers down. The other fears that I faced were time commitment, because yeah, it is a weekly session, and I realized there's going to be homework, there's going to be a lot of self-questioning and understanding your history, plus the one-on-ones on weekends. It's a huge time commitment. But it came to a point where if I want to be successful and I want to maximize this program that I'm getting into, I need to commit to it and just make time for it, as much as any activity in life is.
Definitely.
And so, yeah, I think it came to just a question of, do I want to be successful? Yes or no? Then, if yes, do it. If no, then don't join. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy to get stuck in that place of like being mediocre and not improving, because it's too scary to take that step, to take the plunge. That's awesome. That's awesome. What were some of your fears, Duncan?
I think it's I like to know what I'm gonna get from things that I'm investing in. So, for example, if I'm buying a bicycle, I know it's gonna be beautiful and be able to ride faster.
Great analogy. What are you getting out of this bicycle?
Because I never done that before, and was like, okay, what's like, are there any tangible outcomes that I'm gonna get? And I never like actually focused on myself in that kind of way, like emotional kind of way. And also, yeah, there was a purpose program, and I was like, how are you gonna make us, like all people from the group, find our purpose if we're like working in the group and you're not focusing on us like per person. Well, like with those, it's just not one-on-one only, but also like group sessions. And I've got exactly the same fears about I'm gonna go. I assume it will be really personal, so it's like that I really want to share some of my personal fears and with people that I don't really know. And then I remember the first session and the first exercise about that lifeline and your personal story that made us all really awkward.
Yeah, it took me for the first session.
Yeah, exactly. But it was, but it kind of broke all the barriers right away, like during the first session, and we gained that connection, and you could see like all the people are struggling with something, and there are on different their struggles on different levels.
Yeah.
But it kind of opened up everyone and built that trust and relationship in the group straight away. So that was it. Around the time commitment, I actually like that. It's easier for me to find time for myself if I'm accountable to something.
Yes. That other people are counting on you to be there.
Yeah. And I was like, yes, this is the 2 hours, nearly 2 hours a week on those Tuesday nights that I was just preferred. It was like time for finding myself, and yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, you liked it so much that you continue having your own me time on those Tuesday nights. That is awesome. Yeah, and that's awesome that both of you talked about the group aspect, because that is an aspect that I deliberately put in the program. I didn't really want to do one-on-one for the whole program because I think there's so much to learn from other people's experiences rather than just our experiences. And like, how did you find having a cohort, having other people to share whatever you are going through?
I think for me, it's finding other people to relate to in this journey called life. Because like considering I'm a millennial, been very exposed to
we all are,
and we're very exposed to social media. And as anyone puts out in their social media, it's their best self.
Yes.
They don't put anything negative or just tough times that they're going through. They don't share their stories. And it's always a point of comparison for me. Like I see my colleagues and I'm like, oh my gosh, they have a nice house already. My classmates back in university, they're like traveling the whole world. And then I look at myself and I know the whole of me and I start nitpicking the things that I'm not happy with my life. But then putting it into a group program with Suki, I started realizing actually, well, we are all going through the same thing. It is just that we're putting our best version of ourselves in these single photos and quick text in social media. And it's breaking those expectations down and realizing and being more self-aware about our thoughts and actions. So yeah, that was very, very helpful for me.
Yeah, I really love what you said about being able to relate to other people in this journey called life. Yeah, not just living in our own bubble. What about you, Danka? Like, how did you find the group experience? You had a group of 4 in your cohort.
Yeah, I think it was eye-opening in some ways. Like, I felt quite fortunate. And like with the stories, I felt like, it was really, really good. And it also gave me that understanding that when you're meeting another person, they're saying like, oh, that if you meet someone on the street and they yell at you or they were really, really bad, you're saying, oh, what a douche or something like that. And then you don't realize they actually might have a bad day because there are some things that are accumulated over the day. And it kind of, the session helped me to realize that even more, that people, they have their baggages and it's not something that they share even with close people, like people that are close with. So yeah, I try to get that perspective, take that perspective into consideration even more after the session.
Yeah, definitely. That's a perspective that we take in the program, is to dig really deep into ourselves, knowing who we are, as well as understanding other people going through experiences like that. That's great. And my next question is like, what are your biggest takeaways, or what did you learn from that 10 weeks?
I'll start. So for me, the biggest piece is nailing down my personal values. I've gone through multiple exercises.
You have. You've got so many notes from different workshops.
It's
from different people.
Yeah. And it's just that it's that journey of self-discovery that I committed at the start of the year. And yeah, I've been through so many workshops and online quizzes and just people, and talking to just all these classes and learning about personal values. I know that I've boiled it down to say 10 personal values, but what does it exactly mean for me? Like, it's just like 10 words and then that's it. If I didn't put any action into it, any thought into it, then I wouldn't be applying it to life. Now with the program, it helped me break every possible area of those personal values and apply it into this very beautiful personal statement, which what I've done is printed it.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
I forgot to bring it, but yeah, I printed it and put it into my bedroom so that every day I look at it and compare like what happened to my day and see if these actions and these thoughts do align to my personal values. Just going through coronavirus lockdown, that was quite tough for me personally for a long time, and it was trying to understand where my thoughts and actions are going to, in which direction, and why am I feeling this particular way. Now, if I was able to align it with my personal values, then I have a deeper understanding where my fears and behaviors are coming from. So yeah, that one is very, very helpful for me, which is the personal values statement. The other one was the inverted pyramid of actions, behaviors, and fears.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting about that. What that
iceberg.
There we go. But yeah, that iceberg model helped me define a particular behavior and a particular feeling that I'm going through. And again, very, very helpful for me during the lockdown, because so many things, so many ideas are coming through my head, and I just couldn't pinpoint, like, where is this coming from? Why is it popping out so suddenly? And if I just took a time to think about what my fears, what the underlying reasoning behind it, and just putting a structure to that, then it helps me get out of that feared emotion and reground myself and feel a little bit better on what I'm going through. So yeah, two things, that personal values and that iceberg model was key takeaways for me.
Wow, what I'm hearing is it's a heightened sense of awareness and consciousness of how you are living your life, because you're able to identify your values and able to put those into actions. Because a lot of us, we've got really good intentions to identify our values, but knowing is different to doing. What I'm hearing from you is that you're doing it every single day. Plus, all those coronavirus challenges that you have, reflecting on that deep level, going into that space, that's amazing. Oh, wonderful. It requires such courage and calm for yourself to be there.
100%.
Wow, what a transformation. Awesome. What about you, Duncan? What were your biggest takeaways from the 10-week program and the coaching sessions?
Well, if I could build on those values, because it was really important for me also, and actually bringing that awareness and understanding myself much better, that was something incredible. And the task about, we were working on those values, and then one of the homework was to go normal to your normal life at home and at work, and be more aware of when those values, when you're like what you're doing, you're fulfilling those values and being aware when those values are broken. That was really important exercise for me to see, like, I like to feel that this way, and by doing this particular task, my values are not respected, or I'm breaking them myself, or someone else breaks them, and it's something that I'm more aware of, and I'm trying to put that back. So it also means it's easier for me to say no to people or projects, because sometimes you got like a project and you're just like, oh yeah, I really like it, I'm gonna help you with this. But then it's this kind of balance. Okay, if I'm gonna say yes to this, I'm saying no to something else that I wanted to do, and then it's I don't want to. I like you. I would love to help you, but kind of like, if I'm gonna help you, I'm not gonna do what I'm actually like doing and what I want to be better at. So I think those two will be kind of important things for me. So saying no and feeling less guilt because of that too.
Yeah, what's coming out from both of you, it's like having that North Star, that compass. You know exactly where you're going. So you know what to say yes to and what to say no to. Because we can either be very lost because we don't have that compass, or we can be like doing everything else, being really busy and not getting the results we want because we don't have that compass. So it can go either way. And what I'm hearing is that you have that North Star to guide your actions.
Well, which means like, I don't like 100% know like what I want to do with my life, but I kind of know how I want to feel, and so that helps. And it doesn't matter if I got like multiple projects going at the same time, as long as they are all directed into the same place, like the same direction.
I think it's also just setting up that foundation that helps guide you on your everyday action. Because like for everyone, millennials, we're in this interesting time where the world is crumbling down. But like so many things are happening, and we're now young adults, or fairly I'm gonna call myself a young adult. But we are in this very interesting time where we have so many goals. We have a fairly good career now, and we're seeing other people achieve so many things. And for us, like, we want to achieve all these goals, but how? And for me personally, I keep trying every possible direction that I can find. And another layer of that, because I'm a migrant, and I've migrated here for quite a while now, and understanding what the culture is like, what my actions are, what my history is, how do I apply it to a new environment. So if I have established and reestablished my foundation, then I know that any direction I take, as long as I hold on to my foundation, then I'll be okay. It'll be fine.
Because a lot of us want to like, okay, what is the next job, or what is this like golden answer? And we can get so caught up in finding that without really knowing who we are as a person. So having that direction, that foundation, I really love what you said. And that's something that we worked on quite a lot personally for you, as your immigrant mindset, and then how that is helpful or not helpful to move forward.
It is. I've picked up this phrase recently, like unlearning is the highest form of learning.
The highest form of learning. I love it.
And it kind of made sense for me because like historically, like my cultural background and the family, the organizations I grew up in, some of those behaviors and mindsets do not necessarily apply to a different setting. And as much as I love to hold on to those behaviors and attitudes, it's not serving me well in a new setting. So how do I unlearn some of those attitudes and behaviors, and it not necessarily lose all of them, but transform it into and adapt it into a new environment? once I have adapted to that, then I could be a better person. I could be a better me, and I would not feel guilt in every action that I do. And yeah, that was quite a good challenge to ask myself, and with the guidance of Suki, very, very helpful.
Yeah, that process of unlearning, and that's quite a lot about what coaching is about, is being able to know what are the underlying beliefs that we hold. A lot of times we don't even know that, and then challenge those beliefs, challenge those identities that we have built for ourselves in order to become a truer version, a version that you would like to be in the future. Yeah, Danke, for you, were there anything that you had to unlearn or barriers that you had to overcome during those 10 weeks, and as well as those like 3 one-on-one sessions that we had?
Well, I found out that spending the time and having that dedicated time for myself to reflect and plan what I want to do is really important. Honestly, it doesn't always. I don't always put myself first. And it's sometimes in the busyness of the week. It's really hard to find that time, but it's still something that I'm working on. And then if you are able to reflect and you can plan if you did it well or not, then you can make actions out of it. So that's something that I'm still trying to do. And during the COVID, I kind of lost it. So it's something that I need to build up again. But at the same time I was struggling working from home. I had some sleep problems, so I needed to go back and find that time for myself, do a little bit more meditation, and after work, go for a long walk. And I enjoy time for myself during those walks. So maybe that was kind of my way of dealing with emotions and spending so much time in front of the screen. I think it was that time that it's important for you to work on yourself and not be. I think that was from one of the videos you sent about not being a drifter and let other people make decisions for you. Which often happens if you actually don't have time to think what you like, what your values are, and where you want to go. You become, and I don't want to be a drifter, and that's something that I'm working on and trying to do it.
And I remember, Danke, during the program, you actually started a side hustle, having a personal finance Instagram account and gaining so many followers. I was like, wow, she's doing really well.
Good job.
That's a fun project.
That's awesome. I need to find this Instagram handle. I need this.
I told her during this COVID-19 time, it's time to really boost that and offer some services as well to get some money coming in. I'll put the link to that handle in the show notes.
Probably my work colleagues or my husband, they don't really want to talk about that anymore. But I've actually found a lot of that it's really similar, like taking care of your finances and taking care of yourself. It's like you're saying that you want to really want to buy that. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go to the bike again. I really want to go to buy a bike, but you're spending money all over the place, so you're not prioritizing. And the same is with your time and your personal time. If you're not putting yourself first and spending time on building your skills, then you're kind of like everything. You might get there, but it will take you much longer time.
Definitely not putting that priority, and that's what I say to quite a few people when I'm like, I know that you're ready, but at the same time you're not ready because you're not prioritizing it. And I say it really bluntly that some people do not like to.
And with the personal finances, if you have a budget, you can see that every month you're putting some money aside, and it grows. So you can actually have a visible outcome of it. And with the purpose program, you taught us the improvement counter, so the steps with the setting up small experiments, and I'm doing that with like just trying to read some more articles from my field to gain a little bit more understanding, and I can see it's not always going well. Sometimes I can read like less articles or more, but I can go back to January and see, okay, I read those and I have like a few key points out of them. So trying not only read it, but try to understand and get some like important highlights and insights from it.
Yeah.
So I could see like going back, I can see I actually did something, and I'm a visual person also, so it helps. So yeah, it was really important for me to do.
That's awesome. And I guess the next question for me, for both of you, it's like coming out of the program and your transformation for yourself right now. How do you feel now after all those 10 weeks, and as well as like going through coronavirus?
Yeah, for me, I feel definitely more confident about myself and have more self-awareness about my actions, my behaviors, and my fears. I've always been conscious of, if I'm feeling a particular feeling, I don't want to affect other people around me, because we are humans, we are quite relational, and we could see and mirror other people's behaviors. And so for me, I, like before, just before joining the program, I was so many things and trying to be so many people and mirroring everything on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook, and realized that, okay, this is quite a toxic mindset to embody. And it came to a point where I realized, no, this is not me. I'm just trying to pretend to be someone else. So who am I as Frances? And so going through the program with Suki, I've now established who I am, and I can say confidently, like, no, this is me. And as much as I want to help you, if I couldn't feel quite aligned with my integrity in doing this action, then I'm sorry, I couldn't do that. And so having a louder voice and having a louder thoughts and being confident on like my skills, my beliefs, and my whole self, I could offer myself to be a better person to other people. So
yeah, definitely, that's something that stood out really clearly for you, for your journey. It's finding your voice and standing firm with that voice. It's so beautiful to see you grow.
No, 100%, because in the country I came in, it's quite a submissive culture in so many ways, being I guess colonized for so many years by other cultures. You start thinking that, or I started thinking that I'm a lesser person, and then another layer of that is just being a woman. I love my mother, but she always keeps saying that, you're a wife, you shouldn't be doing this, you should be submissive to your husband, you shouldn't even be working, you shouldn't be taking business trips, because what happens if you're away? And it's like, okay, no, this is not right. I know, and I've read it in so many ways in the groups that I belong in here now in New Zealand. That's not the mindset, and I needed to embody that for myself. And so now, I can confidently deflect things if I know that it's not quite right. And if I still don't have enough information that I need, I could start questioning things. And that's I guess the pivot for me is I can now start questioning things and how valid it is. And if it does, if it suits the beliefs or the model that I believe in, then sure, I'll go with it.
That's amazing. That's awesome, being so firm on yourself. What about you?
I just want to where are you from?
Philippines.
These two are not in the same cohort. That's why today is the first time that they've met each other. Yeah, Duncan, what about you? Like, what was the transformation after the program?
Yeah, pretty hard. But I think the most important part is I always wanted to, if I started something, I really wanted to be on top. And then if I stopped doing something or something came in, I was really beating myself up that I'm not achieving this. So definitely learning to let go and be a little bit more self-conscious and be giving a little bit self-care to myself. I think that was really important. And as I said, I'm a person of multiple different interests, and I wanted to start a lot of things. But I've learned to do some. I think I've learned the type like a definition of active procrastination. So you're like that's fine to be focused on that personal finances Instagram account and do it like for 1 month, and then I'm maybe a little bit too tired of it or something, and then I can work on something different. As long as I'm doing something that I'm okay with and I'm happy, and then going back to the personal finances the next month when I've got a little bit more topics, that's totally fine with me. And just giving myself that time that I can't be 100% all the time. Yeah, I think that was really important to be able to let it go and be able to focus on my health, my mindset, and that I need to feel well and rested to be creative and do the next step.
Yes, definitely, like self-care and giving ourselves that love, that allowance to rest, that permission to rest is so important, because a lot of us think that, hey, we just need to like do, and that's the best way to reach results, but actually no, we need to deliberately rest and self-care, and that's something that Frances has worked on a lot as well during the program. Yeah, awesome. So
I think also that there was one of the talks we had one that we shouldn't also beat ourselves up, and that we are not responsible for other people's happiness.
Yes.
And that was like one of those important moments was like when I was like, yeah, I want that person to be happy, and I don't understand, and it's like makes me unhappy. And we went through that iceberg model.
Yes.
Is that it's actually me behaving really selfish in that way, so that I want that person to be happy, so I have less problems with it.
Yes, a lot of us identify that.
And then it's like, yeah, it's okay for that person to feel that way. You just need to be there and be supportive and like give them some time and space. I think that was really important for me, kind of like.
Wow, it blew your mind. That actually came out of a one-on-one conversation that we had. So in the program, there are 3 one-on-one personal coaching sessions. Like, can you talk a little bit about like, how is that different to the structured Tuesday nights that we have?
Well, I think I should be better prepared for those ones because I usually came with like so many topics, and you were able to direct me into that one. But we kind of lose like 15 minutes of our time trying to direct me into the correct path of the talk that I wanted to actually talk about.
That's okay. We all come like that.
But I think that was on one of your that was on one of those one-on-ones when you said like just think about that one topic that you in the last week you were thinking the most of, that was coming back and was occupying your mind the most, and then now it's easier for me. And like some of the topics we talked about were pretty emotional and personal, but it helped me to understand it, and when my emotions are coming from, and to understand myself better in that way. So
definitely. And those one-on-ones that we drill into one particular topic, and then go really deep into it. To see what kind of beliefs that you have, what kind of things are holding you back. So it's quite different from the group classes.
It is. So with the one-on-ones, for me, it is very personalized, and pretty much there's no barriers in that room at all. I was able to fully confide in Suki about, say, a particular problem in life that I've been going through, and we could go down into it quite deeply until you just get into this aha moment. And it comes to a point where, like, I'm not kidding, I must have cried so many times in those one-on-one sessions.
I just wanted to say like the same thing, like prepare a box of tissues.
Yeah. But then it does help because it doesn't cover those emotions and thoughts that are holding you back or was holding me back.
You're letting go.
And just letting go and accept for what it is. And with Suki's guidance, and Suki's not really that soft on me on those one-on-ones. She can get rough sometimes and just like, no, this, are you sure about this? And it keeps like all these questions until it gets to a point where I realize that, oh, actually, no, I'm being too hard on myself, and I'm trying to be very selfish in holding on to this particular issue that I just need to accept what's happening around it. And yeah, so, and I get in that just one-on-one with Suki, it's just with Suki. So I don't have to worry about other people knowing about my life.
It was a video conference, so that was also helped. So I was at home and I was comfortable, so it was also like really easy to talk to.
Yeah.
And one of those conversations, I remember, like, she was hard. Like,
very confrontational,
right? With my work, I should have support to help me achieve there. And she was like, "Why are you like disappointed in other people? Like it's your job to be there. It's not other people's job to make you go like and for you to be successful. You need to be responsible for yourself and for your actions."
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, it's much easier to put it on someone else. You know, so it's your fault you didn't give me enough support for me to grow.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's actually not. And yeah, it's just it helps also to make the decision in the future easier and be a little bit more compassionate towards other people.
Yeah, and compassionate towards ourselves as well. Yeah, a lot of people think about coaching as in like I tell you exactly what to do, but in those one-on-one sessions, it's actually me asking you lots of questions.
Like I was surprised coming into those coaching sessions, and especially the one-on-one. I thought that it's just Suki who's gonna talk about this and guide me and put all these directions and all these thoughts, and I'm just like here to listen. But no, I was doing the hard work, and I was doing all these self-inquiry and all the questioning and coming up with the answers just by myself with Suki's guidance. And I was like, actually, this is hard work. What did I sign up myself into?
Cool. We've come to the end. Is there anything else that you would like to say to anybody else out there who is looking to join a program or looking for help in order to be more successful in their career as well as in their life? What would you say to them?
I think that time to gain that self-awareness, it's really important, and to find that time for yourself, if it's like an hour a week or and like set up your priorities, would be really important. Like reflect what was in the last week and plan your next week. What's the one most important thing for you to achieve? That's what probably would be my to go. And experiment. So set up like small experiments, and if you can make it visual, like make it count the number, for example, number of articles you've read during the week. It just helps to get that visualize the path that you went through and see like I actually did something at the end of the year, because we tend to forget about what we achieved.
Prioritize and experiment to learn as you go. Awesome. What would you say, Frances, to others?
Well, for me, it is again, a commitment to really improve yourself. And it is putting in time to just continuously go through all these actions and be purposeful about those thoughts and actions. I've come to a personal realization that if I wanted to have a satisfactory life, then it is aiming for that meaningful life and finding beauty in all the actions that we do. I've always compared like getting a personal coach is like being an athlete. Like athletes, for them to go through all these competitions and going through all these challenges, they have their coach and it pushes them. It breaks down all those questions and what's holding them back and those small things and fine tuning them. I wanted to apply that on a personal scale, and yeah, getting a personal coach has been life changing for me. Absolutely life changing. Helped me go through the toughest moments, especially lockdown. Suki has been there and has helped me grab
in your bubble.
Virtually.
Yeah, and just building that courage to make one of the largest decisions in my life and jump into it. And yeah, Suki has helped me achieve that.
Oh, I'm so glad to have worked with you two.
I really enjoy what you said about the athlete reference. Yeah, it's like what my husband is also saying, like the coach, yeah, it gives you guidance, but he's not the person that goes on the field and he's not the one that actually doing the job. So yeah, and important to be aware of that you need to do the job and you need to be prepared and want to do it. And, want to have that pursuit of change.
Yes, that commitment for change. Awesome. So if you are ready for that commitment for yourself, then do check out the Purpose Program, which is on asu.org/purpose program. It has all the infos on there on what we are going to cover and how personal coaching sessions are going to work and when is the next one, which is the end of July, probably in person in Auckland for that one. But yes, email me on hello@asu.org as well if you want a 15-minute chat for that. So thank you so much, Duncan and Francis, for your time. Thank you for tuning in.
Love you, Jacob.
Saying hi to your husband. Yeah, and do join my Saturday live sessions more at 11 a.m. New Zealand time. I'll be switching things up a bit, not every Saturday that you'll see me, but I will be posting that on my asu.org website as well as this YouTube channel. So do like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications if you have liked what I have produced. So I'll see you in one of the next weekly videos on YouTube. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Have a lovely Saturday.
Have a lovely Saturday.